Hey, I'm working on a video about John Moore, and unfortunately, I'm not going to get it done today because I have to go to Liverpool. Now, there's an interesting connection between John Moore, this plant, and Liverpool. This is, I'm rubbish at plant names, camellia, and when they were first brought back from wherever they brought them from, somewhere in China, I think, they thought they wouldn't survive in the English climate. So they were kept in greenhouses or glass houses, whatever you call them here. And they were kept that way for, I don't know, 100 years or more. And during the Second World War, the big glass house in Liverpool was bombed and destroyed, and these plants were all exposed to the elements, and they continued to thrive. And here's one in our back garden, and it's February. Seems to be doing okay. So who was John Moore, and what's his connection with all this? Well, he was the leader and founder of the Ashton upon Mersey and Sale Loyal Volunteers. It was a volunteer force raised to defend England against an invasion by Napoleon. John Moore was also heavily involved in the Peterloo massacre in Manchester in 1819. It was a pro-democracy demonstration where some 60,000 peaceful men and women and children gathered to try and get the vote for ordinary people. Anyway, it all went pear-shaped, and a lot of people were killed and injured, and the cavalry was sent in and let loose on the crowd with their sabers. Horrible story, but we'll talk about all that in the video coming up. And I'm including some footage here that I probably won't be using in the video, but you might find it interesting. And here lie the remains of John Moore, FLS. Formerly of Old Sale Hall, who died at Cornbrook Terrace on the 10th day of May, 1857, aged 82 years. And right alongside are his father and mother, along with several of his siblings. Many of them appear to have died quite young. John Jr. was the fourth child of 12. John Moore, FLS. FLS. Now, if you're ever wondering what those letters are after someone's name, they're called post-nominal letters. There's all kinds of them, but I've never heard of FLS. It's a fellow of the Linnean Society. The Linnean Society of London is a learned society dedicated to the study and dissemination of information concerning natural history, evolution, and taxonomy. They like to talk about the natural world, plants, and biology, a product of the 18th century Enlightenment. The society is the oldest extant biological society in the world and is historically important as the venue for the first public presentation of the theory of evolution by natural selection on the 1st of July, 1858. John Moore just missed that one. I guess along with many other activities, he was interested in the natural world, like plants and animals and camellia flowers. It's believed that the original church on this site was built as late as the 9th century, during the time of the Saxon king Edward the Elder. A lightning strike during the Great Storm of 1703 caused a fire that destroyed the church. The present church was built in 1714. The door and some of the roof timbers are believed to have been salvaged from the original church. The colours belonging to the late Ashton upon Mersey and Sale Volunteer Corps, commanded by John Moore, Esquire, were received into the church
on Sunday, the 26th day of May, 1811, escorted by a company of Colonel Sylvester's Royal Manchester local militia. Mike Walker was extremely helpful on this mission. He tells me the colors were netted in 1911 in order to help preserve them. In essence, they were gathered in a long net tube rather than hanging straight down as most colors are. Unfortunately, this had the reverse effect, and they became a haven for moths. To me, as a child in the 1960s, they looked more like a long string bag of moldy cabbage leaves. I'm surprised the conservers managed to save as much as they did.
The Eyebrow Cottage. We want the oldest building in Sale to have some connection to someone famous, and John Moore may or may not have owned it at some point. I have two completely contradictory accounts that come from what seem to be reliable sources, so I'll just have to wait to pass judgment on that one. Anyway, I hope you stick around. Maybe hit that subscribe button and the like button and leave a comment and all those good YouTube things. And stick around for the video about John Moore, and I don't know what it's going to be called yet, but it's about John Moore and the Ashton upon Mersey and Sale loyal volunteers.